6:42 on the clock right now. We are talking top issues with Mayor Gina Ortiz Jones.
Yes, she's live here with us this morning. Thanks for being here. And so today, right now, we want to get into that ICE raid. Around 150 people were taken into custody. We wanted to know, we heard you mention a lot about it last week. Were you looped in at all with that? And did you know anything that, was going to go down that night of the 16th?
So, that's a federal operation.
Yes.
And so SAPD was called in to provide assistance, and they did that. And, we're not given a heads up on those, right? Operational security reasons, et cetera. However, in the aftermath, I have followed up. I mean, that's a lot of people, and we want to make sure, at the very least, American citizens who don't have a criminal record, for example, have been released. And so I've asked questions. I've also asked for an update on the overall approach and way forward for that task force, that regional task force that they've stood up. Again, we want to balance public safety with also managing public trust. And so as much transparency as we can have into this is really important. I've also, of course, been in contact with our federal delegation, the Congress representatives that are asking similar questions. And it's unfortunate that, they're also, frankly, not getting a lot of answers. So I just want to reassure folks, we are asking the questions. Unfortunately, we're just not getting answers as quickly as we'd like.
Yeah, can you be specific about what certain kinds of questions you were asking to get answers on?
Yeah, well, like I just laid out, right? At least those very folks who are, one, American citizens, and two, have no criminal record, what is their status? I mean, there are, of course, family members that are asking questions, so we want to make sure and as well as in our community. I mean, a raid of that many folks, of that size, is significant. And I think folks are looking at not only what's happening in our own community, but are looking, well, what's happening across the country, and are asking questions. And so, I mean, there's 100,000 undocumented folks in San Antonio. So it's really important, I think, that we are trying to be as transparent and get answers for our folks as much as possible.
Did they give you any timeline maybe of when they would get back to you? I know it's federal, but...
Not at this point.
Okay. So Friday, you were there at the new Alamo promenade as it was dedicated, rededicated. I know you mentioned you don't want the Alamo to become politicized. Do you feel like that's already happening though?
I think what's important, and I really appreciate the vision of the folks 10 years ago, right, 2015, when they signed kind of the recommitment to what a new imagined Alamo project might look like. That they had a set of, they had a vision, right, of where we want to go. And two, how we do that, the guiding principles. And in each of those things, as I shared, it talks about bringing in the diversity of the perspectives that were there. So it's not just the defenders, but the indigenous people, those people that were enslaved, right? Telling that story, I think, is also really important. When I was there and we were launching that with Lieutenant Governor Patrick and with Hope Andrade, the interim CEO, we had folks there, young kids. I mean, these kids were probably in like 5th or 6th grade from Medina Valley, right? And be honest, the majority of those Hispanic kids, right? Hispanic American kids. And so it's really important that we tell the full story of what happened at that battle site. It's a battle site, but it belongs to so many people, all of those descendants, and us. I mean, I don't have any descendants at the Alamo, but I'm a proud Texan, and I think we live up to our values when we talk about what happened at that site. Not only those 13 days, but before and after, as well as all the experiences of the people that were there.
Let's talk more about reimagining downtown. We have a lot of things going on in that area right now, and you said now is the time to start thinking about things and asking for stuff.
Yeah.
Tell us what you're thinking.
Well, I think, look, this is a generational investment that we have between the baseball stadium and between the arena, right, the basketball arena. And so we're at, when you add it up, just kind of back of the napkin math, we're at about $1.4 billion in public money. Right? The money for the arena, the baseball stadium, and all the infrastructure around it. And so I think, we talk about what a vibrant downtown looks like. And when you look at vibrant downtowns across the country, frankly, across the world, there's always more residents than tourists, right? We also want to make sure that we are incorporating lessons from places like Austin. You shouldn't have to be a millionaire to live in our downtown 15 years from now. And so now is the time for us to be thoughtful about that. Green spaces. The other thing I'm really cognizant of, I just had a lunch last week with a couple of business owners, business leaders in our community. And one of their main challenges is really attracting college graduates, in particular in the STEM fields, to our community. They say, you know, we compete with Houston and with Austin in particular, and there's something about the quality of life, right, that they can't quite put their finger on it. So I think those are the kinds of things. Not only do I want to attract those folks, but those young folks graduating from Trinity and UTSA, all them, I want them to stay here too, right? So I think they are also looking for those quality of life factors and a good paying job and a place they can afford. So let's make our downtown that. And we have the opportunity, as we're thinking about what we want that downtown to look like and to feel like, and what it incorporates. So now is the time to be thoughtful and about how we do that, which is why I think we need a master plan. How many units of housing? How many units of affordable housing? How many miles of green space? What does walkability look like? Oh, by the way, what does it look like for our seniors too? Right? This is everybody's downtown, not just a handful of folks.
It is a Thanksgiving week. A lot of people, you know, helping out, reaching out to those in need in our community. You helped to kick off the Jimenez Thanksgiving dinner signups. What are you going to be doing Thanksgiving Day? You were talking to us earlier. You're going to have a busy schedule.
Yeah, well, you know, let me just say I'm so thankful in particular for our City of San Antonio employees. Just last week I had breakfast with Mr. Melvin Fitzgerald, who has worked for the city for 50 years. Wow. And I signed these certificates, and I was like, 50 years, holy crap. So I took him to breakfast. We went to the Gunther. He's such a nice man. But to your point, like, how are we demonstrating our thanks, right? I was always taught that you do that through service. So I'm really thankful. So that morning we'll start off with a 5K, right? So I don't feel so bad when I eat like 3 helpings of turkey. No, but if folks haven't already, please sign up for the Food Bank's 5K. All of that money raised goes to help buy turkeys to feed folks. And as we know, everything's a little bit more expensive these days. So I'll be at the Jimenez dinner. We'll do the river parade the following night. I will say though, if folks are interested, tomorrow night is the interfaith service at the cathedral. So if folks are interested in that, I'll be there, and it'll be a really nice service, a good time for our community to come together.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Mayor, for being here with us this Monday. Great to hear from you as always, and we'll see you next week.
Great. Happy Thanksgiving.
You too. All right, Jeremy?
Yeah.